Hold it. Yeah, it's impossible. Hey there, and welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's Abandoned Dreams, where we are pretty much going to be tackling the custom night. That's pretty much the main focus here. It's the only thing we have left in the game. Now, I wasn't sure exactly what to do with regards to these options. Also, I tried 1987 and 1997 to see if that might show anything special, considering 1997's important date in this game, and 1987 is obviously the classic in custom nights, but nothing really showed there, so I didn't really put that in the video. But I wasn't sure whether I wanted to just do 420 mode with these two options, or if I wanted to do 420 without the options, and then if we manage to beat it in its base form, then we can try silent and long nights. So for now, let's start it. Let's see how 420 is. My main, I don't have to worry too much about battery power, I think, to a certain extent. I cannot lose power on the left and right hallways, though. But again, this all depends on how fast they move. We gotta be very careful here. Hold it. Vent on my left. Hold on. Okay. I guess in that case I probably should. There seems to be a bit of a delay with Foxy. Foxy, I mean, that was quick, but that was just bad luck there. I think I could have done the left first. That's gonna be tricky. What was that sound? I heard that sound when I was editing too. I was like, was that me for a second? But no, it's actually the game. Hold this first. I think this has to be clearly. I have to be very careful with Foxy. Hold it. And cameras are out, so we lost. That is rough. My main concern is those scenarios where we have Chica or Bonnie at one of the doors and Foxy's on the other side. And the reality is, I can't really delay Foxy all that much, it feels like. Or I don't know what's a good way to, like, delay them, because, again, I can't just stare at Foxy all the time. Hold it. Hold it. I knew I should have. Honestly, that was my fault. I should have. I heard the sound. I knew Fox was already in their last phase. I knew they had to be on the left. Or right. No, left. I'm confusing my left and right now. Great. Hold it. Oh Lord. Hold it. There is another concern that I have, and that's my grip strength. Like, I can't hold the door forever, obviously. And just look how it's depleting. Like, you see what I mean? Like, that is, I don't know. I think, I don't know how you're supposed to be able to do a custom night on max difficulty. I really thought there was someone. I thought Chico's the one that moved, not Bonnie. Yeah, this ain't looking too good. They are extreme, and I don't know if the game's actually balanced for, well, I guess 420. I wouldn't call it balanced per se, but I don't know if the game is capable, or rather, I don't know if it's possible to do 420. I don't think it's possible. That's like, I mean, that. What was I? Would I have had to? There's no way of doing it. I really don't think it's possible. Like, look how long I have to hold the door before they actually bang on it. Hold it, because there's no way it's not Chica. Yeah, I think it's impossible. It's like mechanically, you as the player cannot, or as the night guard, I guess, you cannot hold the doors enough. There is no way you'll be able to. You don't have the strength to hold the door down this far. Hold it. Yeah, it's impossible. Very short-lived, unfortunately. But, yeah, I guess Custom Night just doesn't work with that mechanic of holding the door. The more I think about it, that mechanic, like, it literally just does not work. If that mechanic didn't exist, it'd be a different story. What might be a more beatable night then? Something that's physically possible, I guess. The more I think about it too, I don't know, like, in order for that stamina mechanic to work properly, it would have to recharge a lot faster than it does. I imagine part of the reason why that exists is so that you can't just shut a door, right? But at the same time, like, if you shut just one door, even if you just shut the one door, right, you're always at risk of the other door anyway, right? Because you can only shut it for as long as you're looking at it. So I don't think a stamina bar is really necessary in this game, to be exactly. If it was something where, I think it's a bit of a mismatch about, you know, with regards to, I did the alarm. Come on. Alright, well, come on. I think it's a bit of a mismatch, the mechanic, because when you think about it, right, having a mechanic that requires you to stay at one position holding the door down already has, like, its disadvantage, right? In that sense, it's literally, you hold the door on the left side, which leaves you vulnerable on the right. So there's the fact that you can't cover both doors and you have a stamina bar is like a double it's like a double negative side, or, you know, two negative side effects, which is pretty unfair, I would say. But if you had it where, like, let's say these doors could shut on their own, but they had like a power bar and they can't stay shut for too long, similar to something that Finest Candies does, but instead of power drains, like, if the door is shut too long, it'll just open up on its own. That would make a lot more sense, because that way you could have the door shut on their own, but they can't stay shut forever. That would make sense. That would make a lot more sense than this, because in this case, I can't hold the door shut forever, and I'm stuck at one position. So it's very balanced against the player in this case. It would have to be either... Oh my god, already. You would have to either have it so that, you know, if you're gonna shut the door, right, like either... Oh Jesus. It's hard to, like, focus when I'm, like, trying to, like, talk about the game mechanics. I guess we'll talk about it real brief, I guess. The idea is simple, right? Either the mechanic stays the same and you remove the stamina bar so that you can hold it down forever, knowing that if you hold down the door, you cannot cover the other door. That makes sense, right? Hold down the door forever, but you can't protect yourself both ways. Either that, or have the doors be able to stay shut on their own, but have like some sort of power bar so that they can't stay shut forever. They can stay shut on their own, but not forever, or they can stay shut forever, but not on their own. You have to hold it down. It has to be one or the two. It can't be both. It has to be shut by you manually and temporarily. Doesn't work, clearly, right? It's literally, there's too much onslaught. The only other way you can make the mechanic work as is here is by having your stamina recharge much faster. But at the same time, if you do that, it opens the gate to more cheesable mechanics, right? Like, you can cheese the animatronics more if you just hold one side for a long time, let it recharge, and then, you know, over and over and over again. But at the same time, there's no reason to do that, because they're not gonna, they show up so quickly, right? There's no real sense in staying on one door. I guess in practice, when you just amp up the difficulty, it doesn't really work. Yeah, even 415, it's not possible. I made, what, one mistake with the stamina, and I held the door longer than I had to because of the power, or because the light went out. And yet, I'm literally about to run out of stamina again. So, knocking it down to 415. Hold on. Knocking it down to 415 lets me survive up to 3 AM. Yeah. And I'm done. I can't stop Foxy now. I do not have the stamina. And it's over. Yeah, so not even 415 is possible. You just don't have the stamina. If there was a way to increase stamina, then that, you know, like, there's a bunch of ways you could fix this. You know, more stamina, higher stamina change, remove stamina altogether, which I think makes the most sense, because I don't think having stamina makes sense from a balance perspective if you're forced to stay at the door anyway. I mean, physically it makes sense, right? You have to stay and hold the door. Of course, your stamina's going to drain. But if you're going to keep that, then you have to recharge stamina faster, because you just do not have enough stamina. You do not. And at that point, I would have, like, that was 415. Now imagine, long nights makes it even more impossible, for obvious reasons. Silent, I guess we can try silent, see how that goes. We're going to knock them down to 410 now. See how that goes. Let's see if it's... I mean, this will give a good idea as to what their difficulty is on night 5. But wow, because I thought night 5 was pretty tricky from a, you know, from the stamina point of view and having to be very vigilant. But I don't think it was nothing like 420. So now Freddy and Foxy are silent, which means I have to be extra vigilant on camera, because obviously I'm not going to be able to hear Foxy leave their last phase. Freddy is not too bad, because I usually find Freddy on camera rather than hear him and then go on camera. So I don't mind Freddy too much there. I just have to be very aware, because again, Foxy is not moving. or Foxy's not making sound. Oh, Freddy got my power. Now I'm definitely screwed. But I think from a stamina perspective now it definitely is possible. It's 3 AM and stamina wise is actually pretty good. So 410 is definitely a lot closer to that number. But at that point, I mean, I'm pretty sure Night 5 might be more difficult than this. It's just that, I mean, obviously the silent modifier makes it tricky because you can't rely on the sound cues for Foxy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be it for Custom Night. But regardless, at least we got to take a look at it. We made it to 2 AM. That's as far as you can make it. Well, on average, I guess. Because obviously it depends on how quick they get there. But on a max difficulty, they can only vary so much, I imagine. But of course, with all that said, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Lets me know you're enjoying the content and want to see more of it. The game will be in the description below as always. And with that said, I'll see you in another video. Take care.